Hey guys, Lunar here with a gun guide for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. One of 5 assault rifles available alongside the AKM, M16, M4 and the Graza, the Scar L is considered one of the game's best weapons. Let's start by looking at the real life weapon. Developed by a Belgian company, Fabrique Nationale de Herstal, for use in the United States Special Operations Command in 2004, it went into testing around 2007 and full service in 2009. This family of rifles comes in 2 main versions, the Scar H or Heavy, and the gun available to you in PlayerUnknown's, the Scar L or Light. An automatic, gas-operated weapon with self-reloading rotation bolt designed specifically for use with high-powered cartridges. The focus of the gun was to be dynamic and effective at different ranges. With interchangeable barrels, it can be used as an assault rifle, the Scar L, or a longer-range battle rifle, the Scar H. The difference between the 2 variants is then the ammunition size. The Scar L uses the standard 5.56 NATO intermediate cartridge, the Scar H the 7.62 NATO rifle round. Let's take a look at the weapon's damage then. For damage, the Scar does various amounts depending on the place on the body you hit, and takes into consideration player armor. It does equal damage as both the M4 and M16 assault rifles, but less than the AKM and Graza. The exact damage amounts for the Scar are, for torso shots, with no armor equipped on your opponent, 41 points of damage. That changes, however, when your opponent equips armor. At level 1 armor, your opponent will receive only 28.7 points of damage. Level 2 armor, 24.6, and level 3, 18.45 damage per hit anywhere on the torso. Damages for headshots are much higher, 102 per hit with no helmet, meaning if you fire 1 bullet into the head of an opponent with no helmet using the Scar L, you will get an instant kill as player health is only 100. A level 1 helmet reduces the damage to 71.75 per hit. Level 2 helmet does 61.5 damage, and a level 3 46.13, meaning you will require 3 shots to the head with the Scar L if your opponent has a level 3 helmet equipped. The final damage done is to limbs, opponent's arms and legs essentially. With no armor covering them, all damage done to limbs is 20.5, meaning it takes 5 shots to kill a player if you only hit their arms or legs. Therefore, the kill shots with the Scar L range from 1 if you hit an opponent with no helmet on their head, or 6 shots to kill if you hit an opponent who has level 3 armor on in the torso. Damage is not the only thing available though. Let's take a look at the weapon's other stats. All assault rifles have a 30 round magazine size in the game. The Scar L has a reload speed of 2.2 seconds for a full reload. It also takes 0.096 seconds of time between shots firing at full auto. Altogether, the Scar L has a fire rate of 625 rounds per minute, giving it an overall damage per second of 427. It's the lowest damage per second of all the assault rifles, but that doesn't mean it's a bad gun, far from it. It more than makes up for it with its great accuracy. It has the lowest weapon spread and deviation of all the assault rifles, it's got great vertical recoil, it does not tend to move left or right much, unlike say the AKM. Coupled with decent vertical recoil and a low fire rate, it's extremely easy to control the weapon's recoil. Equip it with a compensator and you can shred enemies at close range no problem. It's not just the short game though, the gun has some juice at longer ranges. It can also compete with some of the game's sniper rifles. Due to the fact the Scar has the longest range of all the assault rifles, its range is equal to both the Mini 14 and Kar 98 at a maximum 600 meters. Its bullet velocity is higher than 5 of the 7 snipers, giving it less arc over distance, making it easy to hit targets further away. It compares almost identical in terms of stats to the Mini 14. It has less bullet speed, but makes up for it with less spread over distance, and while it can't compete with some of the damage of most of the snipers, it still makes for a great alternative to the game's semi-auto snipers if you can't find one. That leaves us then with the weapon attachments and how best to improve the gun. For attachments, the Scar can equip 5 sights, 3 muzzles, and 3 magazines, plus 2 grips. In game, the best attachments to use for the weapon are then really dependent on playstyle since the gun is diverse, plus you have to take into consideration your own abilities. In a more sneaking or long distance sniper role, a 4 or 8 scope is great. The Scar is an excellent mid and long range weapon and is only one of 2 assault rifles that can equip the 8 magnification scope. In a more close range playstyle, the red dot sight is a great choice over the holographic sight. They both offer very little zoom, but the holographic's bulkier frame offers less situational awareness in first person, giving the red dot advantage at close range. The red dot also has a hidden stat of a plus 20% faster adds, so you can aim down your sights 20% quicker than the holographic, and that's why I think it makes for the best sight. For magazines, the quick draw is useful, but at both long-range semi-auto and close-range automatic fire, I want to avoid reloading for as long as possible, therefore the extended mag is preferable over both the quick and quick extended mags. For weapon grips, it comes down to how you use the weapon. If you're firing in burst or single shots, the vertical foregrip will reduce vertical recoil by 15% and recoil pattern by 20%, better for longer gameplay. If you spray more and fire continuously, then the angled foregrip reduces horizontal recoil by 20% and reduces recoil pattern by 20%. This is the best choice for me, given the easy and predictable vertical recoil. It's easier to control than the horizontal, since it only goes in one direction, up. It's easier to control than the horizontal, which can go both left and right, so I want to reduce horizontal as much as possible, as it removes as many variables as possible and makes it easier to control. The angled foregrip also has the unmentioned effect of decreasing the time it takes to aim down the sight for 10%, and also makes for a better choice at close range. For weapon muzzle, the flash hider is not the best choice of muzzle for any weapon. If you're playing at close range full auto with the weapon, the compensator greatly reduces recoil and spray and will improve accuracy immensely. At longer ranges, the compensator is good if you're quickly burst firing, but only choose if you're confident on getting kills at long range or not worried about giving away your position. If you want to stay hidden, then the suppressor is a good second choice. Whether it's taking out enemies at distance or in the hands of a player in an aggressive role, there isn't much that can compete with the Scar L's diversity. It's effectively capable of competing at nearly all ranges. It may have one of the lowest DPS and fire rates in its category, but its overall accuracy is second to none and makes the Scar L a great weapon of choice for any player, and arguably one of the best weapons in game.